And the pivoting in the sense when you get horizontal data, for example, so this is your horizontal data, the company name and company ID and company total year sales like Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Such a way we get all the total year sales in horizontal way. This is your horizontal. Now I want to change it into vertical. I want to convert that horizontal data into vertical in this way. And either way, vertical I am getting. If I want to change it into horizontal way, I want to change it into, this is the one for. So like this we need to do using tool Datastage. So either you get source like this, we need to convert into vertical into this way. Either you get this data like this, then we need to convert into in this horizontal way. So how can we do using tool Datastage? We will see. So I have Datastage concept for this pivoting concept. In the older versions we have pivot stage, but the later versions like 8 point onwards we have one stage called pivot enterprise, which will help us to be more advanced one. Even if you compare with pivot will be a manual flow. You need to do manually a lot of stuff to implement this pivot to import from horizontal to vertical or vertical to horizontal. So it's like manual work more we need to be done in pivot. And the advanced concept is pivot enterprise. So for first time, I'll just show you the horizontal pivoting, how we can implement horizontal pivoting. So I'm going to take this file, the file which I shown you in this session. So this is the file I'm going to take it as a source. And here you should be very sure and you should be very attention to this topic because it makes some confusion to you. So I put horizontal pivot.txt as my source, and this is my first line is column name, and we'll see what kind of pipe delimiter. It is a delimiter. So I'll put pipe delimiter, and double quotes I'm going to remove, and the table definition already I have imported. So I'm going to take horizontal pivot.txt and properties true. Everything is fine. And in the meantime, I'll just enable. I'll check this enable random column propagation. And data set I'm taking as target, and I'm going to the output. So please try to be more concentrate on this topic. It bit somewhat not somewhat typical, but it's not typical. It is like attention you need to make because if you miss something, you may lose your flow that you cannot perform using pivot enterprise stage. So what I want to show you is the pivot type you have to choose in the properties tab of a stage page in the pivot enterprise stage. And after that, you need to go to the pivot properties within the stage page. Pivot properties within the stage page. You try to load, you don't get any columns here. So what you want to do here, you are getting data horizontally. So with 6 columns, and you want to convert them into 3 columns, and the flow of output would be vertical. So when you choose here the pivot type as horizontal, accordingly the pivot properties will be available. Try to select the group by. What it is throwing error, group by and pivot boxes are meant for horizontal pivot. So this is your horizontal pivot. You don't have the input source. So that is the reason you get the issue. Okay, what I'll do, I'll first show how to import or how to load the button, the columns here. How to load the columns into pivot properties. So please make sure going for output tab in stage page in properties, pivot properties only I am still, and I'm going to input page now. You get the columns tab, and in the output page you have mapping tab. Choose only the columns which you require. Don't choose all of them. It will make any problem. Okay, you should be very sure. And I have only target 3 columns to be, and that 4 quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4 sales should come in vertical way. So here I am going to back an stage page pivot properties tab and click on load. Give me 1 minute. So in the output tab, company ID and company name I have provided in the columns. You can see already when you do mapping, automatically you populate here. Okay. So in the stage based private properties, you can click on load. Something went wrong. It is not accepting. Give me 1 minute. So here I have company ID, company name, and if you try to provide here a column name even, it will not take. So see, it is not taking. Okay. So in the mapping tab, I'll just do mapping once again. Company name. Okay, I forgot. I just forgot one step to do. I'll just repeat it. Okay, what I'm doing, I'm just taking company ID, company ID, company name. And one thing you need to take in input or output, you see columns, you have to, after doing mapping only, you got the columns, okay? And in input and then pivoting properties tab in the stage page, if you click on load, your okay. So after, because what happened here, you need to save. That I have not done. I have done now. Save in the sense nothing. Just click on OK button. That's it. Sales year by amount. So make sure in input page I am. Oh, I'm sorry. Stage page pivoted properties. Yes, here only I am in properties tab only. Cancel. Give me 1 minute. See now again I came into the first page. I haven't done anything in the mapping also I haven't done. Take company ID, company name, click OK. Once double click on properties tab again, stage page pivoties properties, click load, you get the 2 columns and company sales year by sales. I'll give year by sales amount. So you can add a column once these 2 columns are added. See only after doing mapping only you can see these columns here. You can load him. You can load here. Okay. Else you will not get. And in the horizontal pivoting, derivation part is very important. If you select a horizontal pivoting, derivation is very important. So now if you select here, you see the browse button, double click on that, and which all columns need to be converted into vertical, you have to select that, which is company year sales by sales amount. So this column consists of these 4 values vertically. It will convert automatically. And in the target, in the output mapping tab, you should not forget to do this mapping. Pivot company year sales by amount mapping. You should not forget to do mapping. If else, you will get mistake. Okay, you will face issue. Okay, so that is the reason. So I did horizontal pivoting now. I'm converting. Horizontal pivoting. I'm handling horizontal pivoting. So the output would be in vertical. Now we'll try and run the job. So is that asking to save the job? I hope the last topics partitioning techniques I have discussed, and before to that complex flat, and after before to that even 11, 12, 13, 14. So I hope the 15th job name I need to provide. Pivot horizontal underscore job 15. So you have to save this job, close, and I'm going to run this job. See, now I got 3 records. In horizontal pivot, I have 3 records. I'm sorry, this is the one. 3 records and 4 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 quarters. So now I have for 3 into 4, 12 records. So in the target, I have 12 records. Same concept we can do it in transformer also. I'll show you that. So in the next sessions we'll discuss with transformer, change capture, and all lot of stuff are there going further, and we'll see how to implement type 2 implementation. So this is your source data, and this is your target data. So converting the horizontal data into vertical. Converting horizontal data into vertical. Now we need to go ahead and do the opposite way, vice versa. I took the horizontal data as a source and converted into the target as a vertical. Now I will take the source as vertical and I'll convert into horizontal. So how to do that? We need to I'm going to take a new job. We need to take a new job. That's what I mean to say. Again, I'll take the source as sequential file stage. Any database or anything you can take. Okay. Sequential file and I got another stage. And I'm going to put as dataset. So now I'm going to take what kind of data? Vertical pivot new .txt. Vertical pivot new .txt. True formatted, comma, columns. So I'm going to table definition already I imported. Vertical pivot new .txt. Before viewing the data, I'll just disable or uncheck the runtime column propagation. So in this every job I'm doing, because I have accepted it, I have checked it throughout the project. That is the reason in every job I'm unchecking this RCP option every time. Okay, in the job properties. Now I have all the information and I need to check with view data. If data is displayed on the screen, then the source whatever we did is fine. Okay, so I have 4 quarters of data and for 3 related of 3 companies. Okay, close, click OK. And now how to set properties of vertical pivoting now. See, make a concentrate here or make a note of this point. When you see these properties as horizontal, you see derivation part and the pivot and the group. When you change it into vertical, automatically pivot properties are going to be changed into aggregation functions required for this column or group by pivot and array size. So here you need to make sure of this vertical pivoting. Okay, and in the output I have 3 columns. So see, I got the 3 columns. Once I click on load. Now you need to choose 3 things. One is group by, one is pivot, and one is array size. How to make this and why should we make? I'll tell you. See. Take the source. See, this is your source. You have here all repeated numbers, right? Company's names also repeated. The 4 quarters you have 4 numbers. Now it should be group by. Which column should be group by? So company ID should be group by. And which column should convert into horizontal? Horizontal. Company total year sales. So group by column should be your company ID, and pivoting column option should be your company total year sales. And how many quarters I have? 4 quarters. So that you need to provide here 4 array size. When you provide array size as 4, before to that, see, just go to the output. You have only 3 columns as it is from the source. Okay, but once you go to these pivot properties and array size, when you change it into 4, automatically in the output you see these are 4 values that you see. So just map your order according to the order that you have. Click OK and make dataset as vertical pivot.ds. Compare is, and I'm going to run this job now. I'll just compile this job. Job 16. I'm going to run. So when I run, how many records I'll get? 12 records. And how many records it will be converted into? 3 records. So that's what we have seen in the previous job even. So that is like horizontal pivoting, and this is your vertical pivoting. You are handling you what source you give, that is what the type of the pivoting that we are doing. So vertical pivoting means you get the source data as vertical, and horizontal pivoting means the data you get from the source is horizontal. Which kind of data you handle, that kind of pivoting we are going to do. So this is our concept of vertical pivoting. Make sure the data whether properly loaded or not. Okay, fine. It got loaded properly. So this is your pivoting with a pivot enterprise stage, and pivot stage would be somewhat complex and somewhat manual work you need to do, but this is like automated. The derivation you need to provide the in horizontal pivoting derivation you should provide manually, but here it is automated. And one more thing, here you can choose. For example, I am choosing pivot index. See, a new column is added. Go to the output and you can see the pivot index. Just map it, click OK, compile and run. I'm sorry, I have given a wrong stroke. I have given a wrong button. I'll cancel it. View the data. Now you can see the data in horizontal way. So in the previous job, in the same session, we have discussed with horizontal pivoting. The source is the way we are going to see on the screen now, and we converted into target. See the pivot index. You are getting 4. So the array size which we given accordingly you are getting. Okay. So checkbox is designed for vertical pivoting. Okay. Now I want to do some aggregation function. I want to get the maximum function I want to get on the column. What happened? My job got stuck. Give me 1 minute. I hope this datastage designer got stuck. Okay, so we have gone through the pivoting concept of horizontal pivoting and vertical pivoting. Both we have seen. This is basic level. Basic level in the sense like common these two things are these two types of pivoting concept is required as a basic knowledge of pivot enterprise stage. We have seen that, but the segregation functions required and the index pivot index is advanced concept. So that we anyhow my tool got stuck due to some reason. We'll stop here, and in the next session I'll just show you the aggregation functions, and next we will go through the another concepts of the topic which we need to discuss with transformer. So we'll transformer will go from basic level, and after getting hands on we'll go into the scenarios. Some are able we are able to do with transformer also. As I said, the horizontal pivoting, converting the horizontal pivoting, we'll do that in transformer also. Okay, so this is what about pivoting concept, and thanks for your time and thanks for watching this video.